all the legends I know, when I go to the legendary they're all black and Puerto Rican.
Guess what? They were all doing and acting like foundational black American youth.
These rumors were made by radical black racists.
Everything that guy just says is bullshit.
All right, so put it this way. You can't be Scandinavian, born and or raised in Italy, eating Italian food, cooking Italian food, come up with a new recipe for pizza with your Italian friends and call it Scandinavian influence. Doesn't make sense.
As a whole becomes a part, I strike to burn, and the flame returns.
All the legends I know, when I go to the legendary they're all black and Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
And I sit there with them and I'm like, and they don't believe it. They don't understand. Because they on Twitter.
All right, I'm gonna just stop it right there. Welcome everybody to the channel. You know what I mean? Wipe your feet off, hit the like button, and hopefully you stay a while. Fat Joe already is pretty much speaking from his own experience, right? He says all of the legends that he knows, meaning whoever I know and whoever I talk to are pretty much the only people of importance and the only people who really have the most important say. You know, guys who are still around, presumably guys who still have money in their pockets, right? But obviously those aren't all the legends. And without getting into things like the Tariq Nasheed documentary that pretty much exposed this history that is obvious, probably should be pretty much close to obvious. There are many legends that have been coming out recently, both of black and Puerto Rican and even Jamaican descent, that pretty much divulge the same failings of, say, Lord Jamar, or again, the obvious, right? But I'll let this play all the way through, and then I'll give my thoughts after.
Where they doing a little something, but I don't know what the fuck these people doing. Like, they're confused. They fucked with the wrong nigga. That's the problem. Fat Joe the wrong one.
Because I think people outside of New York, it's hard for them to understand, you know, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans. What?
Let's start by this. These rumors were made by radical black racists. You want me to say a name? We're gonna give them too much clout.
I mean,
the FBA, Foundational Black Authority, whoever the fuck these broke is.
I don't even know the name. That's crazy.
You see this who run them?
Some people may have had Jamaican background or something like that, but guess what? They were all doing and acting like foundational black American
He's
youth.
not wrong here.
They weren't acting Jamaican. They weren't acting Puerto Rican when it came to interacting in hip hop circles. Even before the culture had a name, the culture was still there. And it was being influenced by foundational black American youth using foundational black American music as its base.
He's just speaking facts.
We wasn't using any Puerto Rican slang, and not just Puerto Rican, anything.
Shout out to everybody.
It's not about hating anything that doesn't look like
it's not
you.
What it's about.
These are non-arguments.
Racism in this motherfucker.
And look, Lord Jamar just pretty much laid everything out there. I mean, it's not much more I should be or should have to elaborate on beyond that, right? Besides the fact that there are two conversations going on here, right? And I think often what happens when people get in debates and arguments, that's what happens, right? Often we could be coming from the same place or speaking to the same thing, right? But often we're having two different separate debates, right? So the statement itself that, from Fat Joe's perspective, that blacks and Puerto Ricans had their parts in creating hip hop is not a false statement. The fact that there are people of black and Puerto Rican descent that were there, communities that were there, that started hip hop or were there when this thing called hip hop blasted off or got notoriety, of course it would come out of somewhere like New York or LA, the places with most notoriety on film and on TV every day, right? Of course, those would be the places that would set the trend, right? Or be the taste maker. But as we get back to the point, the ultimate influence is more on the Black American side. Like, for instance, let's take a look at this AI chart of the 5 elements of hip hop, right? MCing, DJing, breakdancing, graffiti, knowledge. And that knowledge, it has a little paragraph under it, under the AI overview. It says hip hop originated in the South Bronx, New York City in the 1970s, right? The hip hop aesthetic is influenced by African American and Latino communities that created it, right? Stay with me here. This includes baggy clothing, athletic wear, sneakers, gold chains, and oversized jewelry. Baggy clothing, athletic wear, sneakers, gold chains, and oversized jewelry. That statement that hip hop came out of the Black communities and Latin communities, and that adage of the style that was apparent and that was around when it happened is pretty much an illustration of the two different conversations people are having. Yes, there were other ethnicities of people around when hip hop was being created. However, those ethnicities were participating in something Black, the culture of Black American. Period. So while diversity and inclusion matters, especially in a genre that is spread throughout the world and has spread throughout other cultures' music, it has to be understood and has to be recognized where it comes from. And we should all recognize where other things come from other cultures. That's how the world's going to get along. That's how we're going to get along with each other. And that's how everybody is going to maintain a level of respect for each other. And honestly, I don't even know why I'm spending so much time on this. I mean, like, this should be obvious, right? What is should just be what is. And that's besides the fact, like, you know, Fat Joe actually has a history of anti-Black comments according to people who have been close in around him.
Listen to this. This is Cuban Link. Listen to this. And the audio is kind of sped up a little bit. That's why it might sound a little different.
Plenty of times. I just forgot his name of who you were talking about, but you have brought him up before, you know? Now, you know, the clip in our interview, he said that there was a time where you guys were all in the studio and Joe started to make certain comments about, you know, the Morenos have had their time. Now it's our time. And he felt like it was like an underlining racist tone to it, even though I asked him, I was like, could it have just been pro-Spanish? Like, isn't this, you know what I mean? Like, that's possible without you being racist. Yeah. But man, wrote a clip. Let me play devil's advocate. Okay, so was it racist or was it just that like he was really proud and trying to put on the other side of it because there wasn't really any prominent, you know what I mean, and that within the culture?
Well, I ain't gonna downplay. I'm gonna tell you straight up. He was on some like the Moyo's been doing this for years. It's time for us to come in. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically how it was stated, and that's how I heard it. And I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. It's pro, it's pro. But at the same time, it was a little bit of shade there, you know. A little bit. But
he got put on by Black artists, though.
That's what I was thinking the whole time I'm hearing that. But I'm saying to myself, who am I? I'm just listening. I'm just taking in what he's saying. I'm taking in because I'm in a room full of Black Latin brothers that are all in the music industry. You got to understand that, too. I'm the only person there personally at the time that looked like I was. So I got in where I fit in. But here we go. That's the rhetoric that was pumped because he felt comfortable.
So they thought this brother was Latino. So they started kind of getting comfortable and speaking that anti-Black talk around him because they thought he was Latino too.
He was in his own world at the time too. Like, you know, you're in a closed environment. You got your people that look up to you. And you got
so you can say what you really feel.
Exactly.
That's the halftime speech, basically.
Yeah. I'm taking it. But like I said, I heard him and Macho say stories where now it's demeaning and being real racist to Black people. Him and Macho.
Wait. What you mean?
The two white guys at the crew was him and Macho.
Okay, but I know, but what is the story, though?
Macho was a fucking, you know, he hung out with the Jewish guys. So he was really demeaning when it came to Black people. And Joe would join that conversation, you know.
And Fat Joe's also the guy that said he thought he grew up Black, which should slap him in the face that regardless of what his ethnicity is, he was always participating in a black culture, for whatever that's worth. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, subscribe if you like the content, hit the notification bell. With that said, hopefully you've been entertained and informed while passing this precious time that we have, and hopefully I've earned your sub. I go by the name of Matt. This has been Doing It for GP. Till next time.
Get the out of here, bitches!
Never did me, I spit the truth. Call you aware, fear-driven niggas get the boot. All of you squares couldn't fit up in my circle. All of us rare and will hurt you severe. Slow your roll, nigga, patience is a virtue.